You can't get time back. Once it's used, it's gone. But energy can be renewed. You are listening to the Wealthy Woman podcast, and I am your host, business coach, and wellness mentor, Dr. Michelle. And my mission is to teach conscientious women entrepreneurs how to create a life full of health and wealth from the inside out. In this podcast, you'll learn how to elevate your health and implement business strategies so you can awaken your inner power, show up more confidently, and focus on what really matters. Sharing your gifts, better serving your clients, and showing up even more for the people you love. This is today's successful woman, the wealthy woman. Hey there, I'm Dr. Michelle, and today we're going to chat about why you constantly feel like you're chasing time. So the fact is, you have enough time, you're just wasting it. So think about it. Why is it that the most successful people get so much shit done? Right? It's not because we have more time in our day or less responsibility or brains that work at computer processing speeds, right? It's because we manage our time. And I use that word manage really purposefully here because manage means to be in control of something, right? And if we don't saddle up, grab the reins, and take charge of our time, time takes charge of us. All of a sudden, our day gets shorter and our to-do list gets longer. Sound familiar? I know it has for me in the past. So there are plenty of ways that we can gain back control of our time. But today I really want to talk about clarity specifically because I think a lot of our issues surrounding time management have to do with clarity around where to focus our time. So instead of focusing our efforts, we end up scrolling Instagram. We start sinking into our fears or building walls up instead of pushing through them, right? So when we're not clear on our objective and our direction, we lose focus. We're easily distracted and our efficiency totally tanks. Without clarity, we're dabblers. We jump from one thing to another. We second guess our efforts and our abilities, and essentially we lose our power. Okay. Now, we might be clear on the fact that we want freedom financially, geographically, or with our health, right? But what we might not be clear on is how to get there, let alone the very next step. Okay. So right now, I want you to think about where you're at. What areas of your life are lacking clarity, and let your mind really explore why you might be lacking clarity in that area. Is it your business? Is it your financial plan? Is it a relationship? Is it your health? Is it your purpose and your why? So feel free to pause and ponder if you want to think about that for a minute. All right, now I want to really pivot 180 degrees, okay? And I want you to think about what you're absolutely certain about. Where in your life do you have complete, confident clarity? And again, you can feel free to pause and ponder to think about that. All right, now how do these things, the things that you're not clear about and the things that you are clear about, how do these things relate to your end goal? What is the end result that you're seeking in this season of your life? Think about who you want to be, what you want to do, what you want to have. Do you know the answers to those questions? If not, you have some homework, okay? You have to figure these out because without complete confident clarity in these three areas, around who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have, then you will continue to waste your time. Okay, so now once you have these in place, you need to become really clear on your priorities. And that can be hard sometimes, right? We think about how do we prioritize things, but the fastest way to do this is to think about how you want to be remembered. Okay, what is your legacy going to be? Thinking of it in this way really helps us weed out the BS, I would say, right? Because we don't want to be remembered for the amount of work we do, right? It's not the quantity that matters. It's the quality. It's what we bring and give to this world that really matters. That's what we're going to be remembered for. So don't get distracted by other people's agendas, right? Don't get distracted by the media or social media. Don't get distracted by mind-numbing activities. Don't get distracted by anything that isn't serving you and propelling your vision and mission forward. You wouldn't be listening to this podcast if you didn't have something to offer the world, right? I'm talking to women entrepreneurs. We have a vision and a mission, and I'm not about to sit here and let that go to waste. Not for me and not for you, okay? So we need to use this time wisely and efficiently because that's how we make the most impact. The thing is, you can't get time back. Once it's used, it's gone. But energy can be renewed. Okay, so we need to think about how we can utilize that energy. So what we need to learn to do is preserve and restore that energy, our physical and mental energy, and creating this clarity along with taking care of our body, of course, is going to help us do that. Okay, so Jim Rohn says, take care of your body. It's the only place you have to live. Our body is our vessel. It's how we share our message. It's how we share our gifts, our vision, and our mission. It's how we bring the energy and magic of our dreams to life. Okay, so a huge part of taking care of our body is about decreasing stress. Stress is wasted energy. It's wasted energy and wasted time. Okay, so 75 to 90% of all doctor visits are related to stress. Crazy, right? And guess what? I bet most of those visits were a complete waste of time, right? Okay, so let's link gaining clarity to decreasing our stress. So I love using the pruning metaphor. So when we prune branches off a tree, we're setting it up for a better bloom come spring, right? So we want to transpose this onto our day, whether it be personal or professional. We just need to do it, right? So first, let's lose the urgency. So Eisenhower said that what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. I'll say that again. So Eisenhower said that what is important is seldom urgent, and what is urgent is seldom important. I love this reminder, right? So when you're faced with a so-called urgent request, I challenge you to evaluate its long-term value with the consequences of not doing that so-called urgent thing, okay? So second, stop the struggle. So if there's a project or a task that you are struggling to complete, get it off your plate. I don't care how you do it. I've talked about the DAD principle before: delete, automate, delegate, and this is the perfect time to use that. If you're struggling to complete something and you're finding it on your to-do list day in and day out, then that project or task probably isn't within your zone of genius, and you're just slowing yourself down and wasting time trying to take care of it. All right, and third, be sure to create time for restoration. And yes, I mean create, right? You need to block off time to restore your mind, your body, and your spirit. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. No excuses, right? So without that time off, you're not able to recharge, which makes you less efficient, which means, you guessed it, you're wasting more time, okay? So to recap, 1, get a clear vision on who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have, okay? 2, get clear on your priorities. How do you want to be remembered? What is your legacy going to be? 3, preserve and restore your physical and mental energy by taking care of your body and decreasing stress, okay? And that includes 1, second guess anything that seems urgent. Number 2, stop struggling. So delete, automate, or delegate tasks that aren't in your zone of genius. And 3, create time for restoration. Okay, so that's a wrap for today. If you know another lady who would love this podcast, please take a screenshot, tag me on Instagram at wealthywoman_. That's WELLTHYWOMAN_. And I would love to see and share your support. Chat with you next week. All right, ladies, thank you for listening to another transformational episode. If you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? You know my mission is to help inspire and empower women to share their gifts, better serve their clients, and show up even more for the people they love. So if you enjoyed this episode, leave an awesome review so more women can find us and join us in creating a life of wealth.